Cool. I finally, after 8 months, decided to move the pictures on the wall that were bothering me so much. And suddenly, everything's very easy. Hi, my name is Anette and I have a questionable social life. A lot of my time is spent watching films. There's this movie on Netflix called The Kissing Booth. Don't know if you've heard about it. It's somewhat famous. It also came out a year ago. So, good job on staying up to date, Anette. So, The Kissing Booth. I watched it, so you don't have to. You're welcome. Also, there we go, I am now wearing a beret and therefore 100% qualified to talk about films. I also have a feeling that you and I are both going to be very annoyed by the way my French looks throughout this entire video. So, just leave the comments now and let's get on with it. The Kissing Booth is based on a Wattpad book. Don't know if it's a fanfiction. I didn't even know that there were things on Wattpad that weren't fanfiction. If you like the film, that's great. I am 100% going to force some of my friends to watch it with me, but you cannot look me in my dead cold eyes and tell me that this film is not hilariously bad. You just can't. I'm wearing a beret. The movie starts off like all good movies do, with birth.
Lee and I were born on the same day, at the same time.
Okay, let's do some maths here. Let's, for this experiment's sake, say that every single person on Earth is divided equally among birthdays and we're not in a leap year. That would still mean that there would be 20 million people that share my birthday. If we divide that by the amount of minutes there are in a day, that leaves us with 14,326.4840183 people that I am just destined to be best friends with. We get a montage, which I hope you like because the film is full of them. We get a montage of them growing up and dancing, and they tell us very subtly that they love dancing.
For as long as I can remember, Lee and I have absolutely loved to dance.
And then her mom dies. It has nothing to do with the plot, except it's mentioned like a couple of times later. She also fucks up like a 7-minute in heaven moment by going forehead first into a kiss. What did they think was going to happen when they did this motion towards each other? Elle then mentions that she and Lee have to come up with something that they can present to the student council about the full fundraiser. Correct me if I'm wrong. You guys have had all summer to think about this and you've just now decided that like maybe we should have given this a second thought. Then Lee's extremely handsome, tall, dark dude brother walks out, half naked. It looks like, and I know this from experience when I edit, sometimes you don't know which cut you want to use. So it looks like the editor just chose 2 cuts and they were like, we'll delete the other one later, and then they didn't because it's so strangely placed. It would have made sense if there were like several of the same thing, but it's just 2. It also would make sense if it was in slow motion, but it isn't. It looks like they just forgot to double check that they have done everything properly before they published the film. Elle and Lee have conveniently made a list of rules when they were younger, and number 9 is you're not allowed to fall in love with your best friend's family members. Lee is the only one who this would make sense for because Elle has a younger brother who looks like he's in like 2nd grade. There's no reason for this to exist except for the fact that there's a hot older brother. First day of school, Elle rips her trousers and her backup trousers are at the dry cleaners. So she decides to wear the shortest skirt I think I've ever seen.
9th grade skirt and 11th grade body.
I don't know if it could even be classified as a skirt. Nobody in this film, except maybe the 2 main characters playing Lee and Elle, could pass for high schoolers. You are trying to tell me that this dude is in high school. No, he has a mortgage and like 3 kids. Then we have some casual sexual assault happen and Lee decides that he's going to pick a fight with Hulkin with a man bun, and it goes about as well as you'd expect. Then Noah shows up and beats the living crap out of man bun boy, man bun boy. Outside the principal's office, Noah says that
I don't start fights, okay? I only finish them.
which is a blatant lie. I know that I'm not from a country where we have dress codes, but I feel like maybe showing up to school with a pair of other trousers, explain the situation, would be a better thing than to show up in a skirt that isn't even a skirt anymore. And because it's a teen movie, here comes the plastics. I'm so, what? The what now? The OMG girls! While Lee is trying on several different types of dad on vacation shirts, they come up with the brilliant idea that they are going to do a kissing booth. During detention, Man Bun Guy, who sexually assaulted her, sends Elle a note and he's like, I'm sorry. Yeah, I hope you are. What do I have to do to get your number? Are we going to forget the fact that he literally groped you? I get it. He did what you asked him to. But are we not? Are we done with that now? Cause like, I feel like that wasn't too long ago. Elle agrees to go on a date with Man Bun Boy. Also, at this point, I figured out that his name was Tuppen. Tuppen stands her up and she goes to sadly dance with Lee, as you do when you need a pick-me-up. Tuppen shows up instead of just, I don't know, calling her and letting her know that he's not coming. He shows up at the arcade and explains that, you know, couldn't come because Noah told me not to.
No boobs are worth a broken nose.
Just so you know, that is the best joke in the movie. It doesn't get any better than that. Noah is naked, I think, as Elle rants to him on the phone. And she's like, you can't control me. And he says, the creepiest thing.
We'll see about that.
Elle and Lee have to convince the student council to let them do a kissing booth. Elle lies and tells them that Noah is going to work the booth, so then it's okay, I guess. We get another montage of Elle trying to get ready for a party that Noah is throwing because their parents are out of town. They mentioned it earlier, didn't think it was important, apparently it is. Elle is trying to get ready and she's also trying to convince everyone to do the kissing booth. No one says yes, which doesn't shock me for some reason. As she's trying on clothes, decides to wear a dress that she literally seconds earlier made this face to. What changed? We get a clip of a girl doing the most impressive thing, which is walking in grass in high heels and not breaking an ankle. The writers of this movie also were like very pointed about the fact that they wanted a young audience and they wanted a young audience to pay attention and wanted to be hip with the kids. What's up, fellow kids? They said as they googled teenage slang, and this happened.
Hey girl, what's Gucci?
And then cue another montage of Elle getting progressively more shit-faced. She also plays video games and the onlookers have very different facial reactions. This dude looks like he's about to combust. And this girl looks like there is nowhere in the world she wants to be less. Elle gets up on a pool table, takes her clothes off, passes out, and Noah carries her to bed.
Oh, no, 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 no!
They somehow lean for the same pair of shorts.
I'm not pulling anything.
You know what you don't do when you fall onto someone? You don't immediately grip onto them and start rolling as if you're a fucking crocodile with its prey. Elle goes to school and tells the OMG girls that Noah likes one of them, and if they work the kissing booth, he will work the kissing booth. You know that if you work the kissing booth, you're not actually kissing each other. Elle and Lee have a paint fight, which seems extremely dangerous. Because, correct me if I'm wrong, but getting paint in your eye and or mouth, it's just not good. Elle stumbles into the boys' locker room and every single one of them act as if they have never seen a female body at any point in their life before.
Braveheart.
Noah tells her that she needs to get out, and Elle, instead of just taking her shirt and leaving, she gets mad because how dare he tell her to get out of the boys' locker room. She instead drops her shirt and runs around the locker room like a 2-year-old toddler trying to spite their parents. All of the clubs have their names at the I don't know, booths. This is the first time that we knew that Elle and Lee were in the dance club. Like, it wasn't mentioned earlier. It also begs the question, are Lee and Elle the only people in the dance club? Up until now, no one has helped them. They're the only people recruiting people. They're the only people standing at the booth in general. It's montage time of people kissing. Woohoo! Everyone is being like, where's Noah? Or they call him Flynn. Lee is like, well, he's my brother and we have the same last name.
Next kisser is Flynn. Hold on, that is not Flynn.
That is Lee Flynn.
This girl rips her ticket in half instead of using it somewhere else. And then this girl, who we have never seen before, she's never been introduced as like a secret admirer or a friend or anything. She walks up, kisses Lee, and then she's like, I hope you like what you see, as any insane person would do. And then Lee just fucks off and goes on a date with her. Dude, get her number and call her later. Don't just leave Elle alone. Elle then mentions that is a part of the list, which I at this point had completely forgotten about. I was just like, oh yeah, that's a part of the plot. The OMG girls try to get revenge on Elle by getting her to kiss this nerdy dude that they don't want to kiss. And then Noah shows up.
Cutsies.
Thanks, dude.
Basically, they end up making out and the sign's exploding. Subtle way of the movie telling us that sparks are flying. And that is when I noticed my favorite aspect of the film, because I don't think they could have possibly hired a love interest for Elle with more of a size difference. Lee gets mad when she tells him that she kissed his brother, but like, she was blindfolded. Then Elle decides that she's going to run home in jean shorts and a strapless bra. A lot of aspects of this movie are questionable, but nothing is more questionable than the fact that she is running without any support. You don't run without a sports bra, let alone a strapless bra. It conveniently starts raining, and then conveniently Noah stops and offers her a ride, and then the weather gets so bad that they have to stop along the road and like go hide in a bungalow.
But who knows if Noah even wanted to kiss me again. That didn't really matter though. Because I still wanted to kiss him.
No sis, that's not how it works. It's not like you can just decide that that's the thing that's happening. Once again, I'm kind of like, you can't. That's not how consent works.
I cannot just be another one of your conquests.
And Noah gets very, very offended. He's like, that's what you think of me? You have given her no reason to think otherwise, homeboy. There's this scene where if you put a different type of music in the background, it looks like a horror film. Because the way Noah puts his hands on Elle, it looks like he's about to straight up strangle her. I mentioned it before, but again, there is no way that they could have hired actors with more of a size difference. Like when he's looking at her, just like this, it looks like he's being suspended in the air in front of her. Like, it doesn't look real. A security guard just shows up and he's like, is that you? Silly boy, told you not to bring girls around here. Why would you mention that? When you see this dude that you've apparently seen him many times, why is your first reaction to be like, you know what sounds like a great idea? I'm going to mention all the other girls he brings here. When Noah gets mad, he just makes the Elle's dad asks if there's something between her and Noah. Ella's like, no, of course not. She delivers the worst and least convincing lie I think I've ever seen.
Of course. Duh. Come on.
Elle makes a pros and cons list, which is very extensive. I mean, 2 pros. Who can argue with that? Another dude who once again looks nothing like a high schooler shows up and tries to drag Elle away. Noah shows up and he's like, she said no, as if he has respected what Elle has been saying at any point in this film up until now. Then Arswipe over here decides to make a snide remark at the boy with anger management issues. I see no way that this could go wrong.
I guess I'd also be pretty pissed if I was slumming it with my little brother's sloppy seconds.
Elle storms off and Noah casually tells her to get into the car.
Get the car, Al!
And that he's going to show her something. This is when you would probably at a red light open the door and then just roll out. He takes her to the Hollywood sign. Not to see the Hollywood sign, to the Hollywood sign. And then they decide to date secretly and then they have sex. I have a sneaking suspicion that you can't just go up to the Hollywood sign and have sex. Like, that's not... You can't do that. Elle hides under Noah's bed because his mom comes in. She can't know that she's even in the house. I guess Elle has to leave so that she can return and hang out with Lee. And Noah has an escape plan. Just casually jumping off a second-story balcony down onto a trampoline instead of, I don't know, just taking the stairs like a normal human being. Then we get another montage of them being in love and sneaking around, but they're not sneaking around at all. They're literally doing very public displays of affection, and then they're almost shocked whenever they see another person that knows who they are. Elle then trips and falls as she's trying to get a toolbox down from a shelf, and she cuts her face open instead of, I don't know, like her knee. Lee walks in, sees the cut on Elle's face, and just assumes that Noah hit her.
Is there something going on between you two?
This seems like the perfect opportunity for Elle to be like, hey, I'm kind of dating your brother. So she doesn't tell him that she's dating his brother. She instead says, no, we're not dating, goes up to his room, starts making out with him, and then Lee shows up. Again, after your mom, did you not learn to lock your fucking door? Elle very specifically tells Noah not to come downstairs because she wants to talk to Lee alone. So Noah comes downstairs because he's so good at listening and respecting her wishes. Lee and Noah fight. Lee drives off. He's very angry. And then Elle tries to blame everything on Noah as if she's not half of this relationship. And then Noah drives off and Elle is just standing there in their driveway alone. Lee and Noah's mom shows up to have a heart-to-heart with Elle because, you know, it's not a teenage flick unless there's some parental figure talking to the protagonist about something deep. We also get the first mention of the dead mother since she died in the beginning of the film. It's almost like they didn't need to kill off the mother. There's a montage of Elle being Elle and sad and alone, as if this list of rules isn't the reason why she and her best friends aren't best friends anymore. She remembers that there's a rule. If your best friend buys you ice cream, you have to forgive them no matter how mad you are. That seems a little all-encompassing. Elle is sitting and paddling sadly at an arcade, as you do when you're sad. Lee shows up. He puts enough coins on the dance machine for 2 players. They dance and they just don't talk about the issue. I would make fun of the fact that they just danced and then everything was okay and they're friends again, but that is basically the premise of Eurovision, and we have yet to have a World War III, so not gonna knock it too much. They go to prom and we get a, you guessed it, a montage of people dancing and partying. They follow the applause and there's the kissing booth. Look, I get that it was like the big part of the school year and your memories. You do not need to reopen the kissing booth at your prom. Also, why is everyone clapping as if Elle and Lee invented the fucking concept of a kissing booth? Noah shows up.
Standing here, in front of everyone, I'm telling you that I love you.
And Elle runs off because she's very good at handling her problems. Also, at this point, I googled the actress that plays Lee's girlfriend. She's almost 30 years old. and an Aries, according to famousbirthdays.com, which brings us on to today's sponsors. No, it's not, but like honestly, if they want to. Noah wishes Lee a happy birthday and he's like, I'm going to Harvard now, bye. Elle and Lee celebrate their birthdays as she's watching the dark empty window of Noah's bedroom. Ella's like, you know what? I'm sad, like real sad. Lee gets a grip and he's like, okay, I'll drive you and we can go chase after him. And she's like, cool, I'm just gonna go tell my dad where I'm going. Dad, I'm just going to go chase after the love of my life. But like, I'll see you for dinner tomorrow probably. Okay, bye. Elle starts having this monologue about how she feels about Noah. What a twist. She's actually sitting next to Noah. He and Lee pulled the old switcheroo. You have to be kidding me. There is no way she did not notice that she was sitting next to like some 6'4" giant dude. Not to mention the fact that you can fully see his face, like in the mask. Elle gets so excited that Noah's here that she literally almost kills them by driving into oncoming traffic. Elle declares her love and then we get creepy security guy McGee chuckling as he watches two teenagers kiss. Elle is saying her final goodbyes to Noah before he leaves for college.
Maybe things really would work out with Noah. I hoped they would.
Maybe? I did not spend the last hour and 40 minutes watching the two of you be fools just for your relationship maybe to work out. So, what did we learn? 1. Establish rules with your friends early. 2. Lock your fucking door when you're making out with your secret significant other. 3. Something about friendship and understanding that even though you're friends, you're still individuals. 4. Kissing booths are a great way to acquire significant others and also maybe like, I don't know, herpes. And now, the film critic beret is taken off. If you like this video, give me a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel for the chance to win a soggy stick of butter. If you're confused, don't worry about it. Just watch my other videos. I have a feeling that I might not see you in a while because the kissing booth fandom will probably come after me and try to kill me. So, bye.